The temperature was 16 degrees below freezing. A deadly blizzard was tearing through Greenwich, Connecticut, and I was standing outside my own son's front door, begging for one night of shelter. My heater had failed. I was 68 years old. My hands were freezing. But my son Brandon opened the door only a few inches and said, "Dad, you're going to have to figure this out yourself, like you always do." Then he closed the door. What he didn't know was that for the last 5 years, I had been the one figuring everything out for him. Every month, $7,200 appeared in his bank account. He thought it was an investment. The truth? It was my money. My name is Nicholas Russell. In 1985, I built Meridian Software Corporation from my garage. For 40 years, I created technology that helped businesses grow. Eventually, I sold my company for $3.8 million. But to my son and his wife, Jessica, I wasn't a successful entrepreneur. I was just an old man wearing a worn-out Carhartt jacket and work boots. Jessica wasn't embarrassed by my past. She was embarrassed by my appearance. At dinner parties, I was never invited. Around her wealthy friends, she introduced me as someone who did small handyman jobs. She never told them I was the man who built a multi-million-dollar company. Then came the night everything changed. The storm was the worst in 20 years. My house was freezing. My heater was broken. I had nowhere to go. So I walked through the snow to my son's house. Inside, I could see warm lights, expensive clothes, and important guests. I knocked. Brandon opened the door. "Dad, what's wrong?" "My heat is out. I need somewhere to stay tonight." He looked behind him at Jessica. Her clients were there. Then she whispered, "He can't come inside like this. What will they think?" And my own son said, "Maybe you should call someone else. You always handle things yourself." Those words hurt more than the cold. That night I made a decision. They would finally learn the truth. 3 days later, I went to Brandon's office. I asked him, "Do you know where the $7,200 every month comes from?" He answered, "Your investments." I looked at him and said, "No, Brandon, it comes from my trust fund." His face changed. For 5 years, they had received $378,000 from me, and they never once asked where it came from. They just accepted it. A few days later, Jessica invited her important clients over for dinner. She wanted to control the story. She introduced me. "This is Brandon's father. He does handyman work around town." Then one of the guests asked, "What kind of business did you run?" I answered, "I founded Meridian Software Corporation." The room went silent. The guest froze. "Wait, Nicholas Russell? The Nicholas Russell? The man who built the software that helped his company for 30 years? Yes, that was me." Jessica's perfect image started falling apart. I opened my portfolio. Inside were 5 years of bank records. The money that paid for this house, the Mercedes, the business, the lifestyle, it all came from my trust. Brandon stared at the papers. Jessica finally realized the truth. The man she tried to hide was the man who built the success she wanted to impress everyone with. But instead of apologizing, Jessica said, "This is manipulation. You're using money to control us." That was when I understood. The problem was never money. The problem was respect. I took out the trust documents. "The payments end tomorrow." Brandon looked shocked. "Dad, you can't do this." I replied, "I can, because I spent 5 years supporting people who were ashamed to admit they needed me." Months later, their luxury lifestyle disappeared. No expensive cars, no country club, no designer clothes. But something else changed. I started using that same $7,200 every month to fund scholarships for young students chasing careers in technology. Money that once paid for appearances was now changing lives. 6 months later, Brandon came to see me. He looked different, simple clothes, no fake image. He said, "Dad, I was ashamed of the wrong person." For the first time in years, I saw my son again. Because real wealth isn't about what people see. It's about the person you become when nobody is watching.